Okay, so I'm going to do a review on this book that I got from Amazon that I ordered from The Anti-Terrorist. I've actually got both of them. This one is Standing Under Freedom, a foundation for personal empowerment, a practical guide for the erudite badass, and just simply says The Anti-Terrorist at the bottom. And this is here, the original one from last year that he wrote, called The Anti-Terrorist Wake Up Handbook. Very, very good. I just read it. It took me about 8 hours, a few hours here, a few hours there over the course of a day or two. I summed it up to about 9 hours. I dog-eared a few, well, more than a few here, little segments that I thought I'd read just briefly. I don't want to turn this into a full 15-minute video here. I just wanted to give a brief review. Coming from, me, a Christian perspective, I have to say I absolutely loved this book. I really, really loved this book. The information that you get, the things you're informed about, and the positive perspective on so many different things here was just astounding to me. So I'm just going to go consecutively, and as you can see, I outlined, well, it's kind of a glare there, but I've got like outlines all throughout the book here of things that I highlighted. Just really, really amazing. So from the first chapter here called All Aboard the Citizenship, and that is spelled not citizenship, but citizenship, as in boat. He has a quote here that I like. Government isn't the servant of the people. Government is the absolute master of the people. When the government agent comes over, you don't say to the agent, "What are you doing here? What do you want?" You cringe. If that's not the mentality of most of we Americans today and Brits today, I'm sure, when the government comes knocking, we don't embrace, as they approach, we cringe. We cringe. How true is that? From the chapter Dumbocracy, he has a quote by Adlai Stevenson. "My definition of a free society is a society where it is safe to be unpopular." That is so true. I really appreciated that one. Let's see. Also from Democracy, there was a competency test given to 3,300 new teachers in the Houston School District. Because of cheating and other irregularities on the parts of these candidates, scores for only 2,400 of the teachers were reported. Almost two-thirds, 62%, failed the exam. These are the people we've got teaching our children. I'm sure that number is not the highest in the nation. This is one thing I like about this book is he has most of what I'm going to be reading to you, these little quotes, are quotes that he wrote himself. He's got a couple others that he quoted in the book, and I will differentiate between the two. This is from him. He who has the gold makes the rules. I've heard that said so many different ways. That's so true. This is also from the Democracy chapter. "If you show initiative and take risks, you become a threat to the system because you're a seed with the potential to draw back the curtain and reveal the reality behind this silent war." It's just good stuff. This is from the chapter Best Laid Plans. He says, "Decisions that you make in the year 2009 through 2012 are going to determine whether you live or die in the years 2015 and onwards. That's just where the reality is." On the other page it says, "In 1970, the world's food supply was 73 days for every man, woman, and child on planet Earth. Today, it's less than 38 days. This book's a year old. This isn't his latest writing, so from 2009, I can imagine how those numbers have fluctuated, not in our favor. Vaccine Nation. This is a quote according to the British Association for the Advancement of Science. "Childhood diseases decreased 90% between 1850 and 1940, paralleling improved sanitation and hygienic practices well before compulsory vaccination programs." That was a very, very eye-opening chapter, by the way. I will mention the Vaccine Nation. There's a lot of statistics and quotes and references to some articles that are very disturbing. I would recommend absolutely, if you just pick it up and browse through it, take a look at the vaccine chapter. Just amazing. He says here, and I totally agree with this again, what I object to is when, I'll start off the sentence before, 89% of you go out there and get a vaccine, and you exercise your right to go out and get shot up with whatever you like. What I object to is when the 89% of you try to force your choice on me. So true. Let's see. This is from Nor Any Drop to Drink chapter. We seem to spend most of our time, effort, and energy fixing nature's mistakes. Have you ever noticed that? Voltaire once said, this is the opening of the chapter, Great Expectations, paper money eventually returns to its intrinsic value, 0. Also from Great Expectations chapter, never forget this. The Bank of England, the Federal Reserve, and the governments have only 2 weapons, inflation and bull. Oops. Wow. Definitely couldn't agree more with that one. They hang on to those because they are the only 2 weapons they have. The only 2 weapons. He mentions that later on in that paragraph. Let's see. He's got a good analogy here. He says, the question is, when talking about having Federal Reserve notes in our wallet instead of actual coin or cash, he says, the question is, would you rather have a lifeboat on the Titanic or a receipt for a lifeboat on Titanic? That made me chuckle. There's a lot of dry humor in here I think you'd really enjoy too, whoever reads this besides me. This is just great. In the chapter, The Devil's Eye, says, he's referring to Orson Welles' rendition of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. We remember what happened, in that infamous day, that event. He goes on later on to say, a similar event happened in 1949 in Ecuador. There was a presentation of War of the Worlds done as a news broadcast. Only this time, when the public found out it was a fake, they burned the radio station down. We could learn a few things from those people. Just a couple more here. I'm almost done. Let's see. Freedom demands responsibility. This is from the People's Republic of Democracy. He says, I always laugh at people who say, if you don't have anything to hide, then what are you afraid of? I'd like to ask them, well, if you don't have anything to hide, what the hell are you wearing clothes for? Good answer. Later on in the chapter, the same chapter, People's Republic of Democracy, he says, there is no such thing on planet Earth as a law without a penalty. Because if you've got a law without a penalty, you don't have a law. You have a suggestion. Very interesting. There's a lot of really good thoughts in this. I love this. The final chapter here, Chasing a Smell, he's got... he says here, any ruling class minority sees the seething biomass of humanity, the vast majority, as existing to serve and service their needs, and throughout time have developed manipulation into an art form in order to accomplish this goal. Very well said. And at the end of the chapter here, just before the end, he says, be constant, be vigilant, be committed to the course you set for yourself. If you need to gain clarity, then factor out everyone else's static, factor out the peanut gallery, and concentrate on what you desire to make of your life. Why do we let this fear hold us down when history has repeatedly shown us that it is the individual, the lone voice in the wilderness, who lets a pebble fall from his hand and starts the avalanche of change? At the end, final words of the book, he says, I'm in it for the adventure. I would recommend this book. It's a very, very well-written book. I have to say I agree with just about everything within these pages. I'm really looking forward to reading his second book here. This came out just November, just a few weeks ago here. So I'm going to get started on that, and I'll do another review when I finish this one here. It might take me a few days. I got a lot going on this week, so we'll see. But in the meantime, enjoy. I'll put a link below so that you can get to this book on Amazon to order it for yourself. It's only $15, and I think the information in here is priceless.